What's up, my legends? My name is VTR, and welcome back to another episode review. And today we're going to be reviewing The Last of Us, episode 2, Infected. And we're just going to go ahead and get straight into the review for the episode. Let's go jump into the synopsis for the episode. After escaping the QZ quarantine zone, I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Jess and Joel and Tess flash over Ellie's face while they navigate the ruins of a long abandoned Boston. So watching this episode, like I was like, a lot of my stuff was like, oh my goodness, like being a big fan of this game, like a lot of it's like this episode specifically was like sticking out to me, like, okay, this is different. And also I'm noticing a lot of things that I recognize from the game, which is really cool and is exactly what I like. There's definitely some departures in this episode. There's definitely some big departures in some of the stuff, like the way Tess is handled and everything. And Joel's a little more reserved about trusting Ellie now that he knows. Like, cause in the game he's not as I don't know, it's a little different there, but I think it works for what it's going for. Which I think it is done pretty darn well. With that being said, episode's not perfect. I was really hoping all the episodes were gonna be like an hour and a half, like the first episode was. But it seems that they're not going that route. Because this episode was shorter, actually a lot shorter. But they do add things for the episode, and try to like make things a little more interesting, to bring in, I guess, give something to the people that know the whole story. Because like the thing is, like, people that know the thing, they got to give us something, because like people that know the game are going to want to watch this, and they got to give us something new to yeah. But with that being said, this episode is done, I'd say, pretty darn good. I still like the first episode a little more, but this episode definitely, we get to see the clickers in this, and I find it kind of interesting that this is them they kind of learn that there are different types of clickers here. I don't think that's a thing in the game. Like, they kind of already knew like what happens in I think. But here they're like, okay, we're learning this. Like we're learning it just alongside the characters. So it's interesting for that. And also with Ellie and everything, I'm really starting to like the Ellie in this. They're doing a really good job. And it's really interesting the way they're handling just adapting this, because I really do feel a lot of the differences, but also a lot of the differences they've done in this episode really help with the dynamics of the characters, with Ellie and not Ellie, Tess and Joel especially. This episode very much focuses on them for the most part. And that's the real interesting thing about this episode. And I really think what they're going for, I have major confidence in the show going forward. And I think this episode is not as good as the first, but it's still a good episode. And I think like getting to see a bunch of them basically adding a few things. One thing I'm not the biggest fan of, I don't think this is actually ever stated in the game. It could be, but I don't remember. Kind of like how they say like the clickers or the infected or whatever, they're all like kind of connected. because of like the fungus or whatever. I don't know. But I'm not the biggest fan of that, which I don't remember if it's like that in the game. Cause like on the channel, I'm currently replaying through it with The Last of Us Part 1, and I haven't heard them say anything like that. And I'm literally at the point where this episode left off playing it, or yeah, or probably into where the next episode goes, or whatever. But that's really all I have to say though for this episode. I don't really have much else to really say about the episode. Well, the critics on Rotten Tomatoes give this episode a 96, which is what did they give the first episode? Just to recheck, just to see. That was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So definitely still the better episode as the first one, but this episode is definitely, gosh, it has this series going into a positive direction with these characters, and I'm very interested to see where the show is going and what other changes are going to be made. Me personally, I'd give the episode a I'd say I'd probably that's all I say. Give it like a 3 out of 5. I think it's a solid episode. I don't think it's the as good as the first, but I do think it's a solid episode of this show. And I really do enjoy what they're going for. But that's all I've got to say for this review, guys. I will be reviewing episode 3. I'm actually probably gonna watch it while I edit this video. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for this video, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!